That's why I would like all of you to unmute yourself and give the loudest round of applause to our very strong pillar member and definitely a very persevering leader, and more so a great and a passionate friend. A great friend, he's going to attempt his strategic relationship level 3, making connection 3 through networking. And his title, What I Learned About Networking. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our hands together to welcome our Distinguished Toastmaster Past Division P Director, Albert Khor. Distinguished Toastmaster, over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and friends, today, 19 September, is a very special day for me. 11 years ago, I started my journey into the working life. Every year, I try to reflect onto one particular area where I could have done better. And guess what? Coming to my 11th year now, or rather should I say, stepping into my 12th year at work, the word networking came to mind. Now, when I started off as an executive, I moved up the career ladder very quickly because I took on the niche area called contract management. So the whole company was relying on me to draft letters, to manage the contracts. So I was able to move up the career ladder relatively quickly. And within 4 years, I was then promoted into a manager position. Now, if you consider MISC as a GLC company, I would say personally, I felt that was a great achievement for me. So I was very happy. But then I have a problem. After I moved into the manager position, I realized the harsh reality of the need for networking. I never needed that when I was an executive. But my manager always says that the series will get you into an entry role, but the network will get you into your dream role. So I had to re-strategize and rethink my approach to networking. Now, the chance came when I was invited by Eaglestar and AET, the two companies under MISC, to attend an event in 2019. This was just a few months before the pandemic. So no mask, nothing. It was just a regular event in Singapore. So I was given the flight to Singapore, and then I attend this event to actually commemorate the anniversary of the Toastmasters Club in Singapore. Vicky will be very familiar because that is actually her club. So I was there, and that was a perfect opportunity for me because both CEO from Eaglestar and AET were there, along with many senior managers, middle management, members, executives, you name it. It was a glamorous and pompous event. The area directors, division directors from Toastmasters as well. I think the district directors were also there. So it was a really huge event. I step in, wearing my coat, looking dashing, and I failed miserably. I only spoke to 2 people in the whole event, Vicky and Monica, the charter president. But to my credit, I did actually have a conversation with a new person, that taxi driver who drove me back to the airport. That guy couldn't stop talking. No, we talk about all the way to the airport. He was talking about the problems in Singapore, Malaysia, and he engaged me in the conversation. I think he's better at networking than me. So that, unfortunately, was my really disastrous networking experience. And guess what? The CEO of one of those companies is going to be the CEO of MISC now. If I would have networked with him, who knows where I'll be today? Ladies and gentlemen, that was my first misconception of networking, which is to actually go in to gain something. When I reflect on networking, I realize that networking isn't about gaining something. It's about expanding the network, knowing people, knowing who they are, where they come from, what are their problems, if they want to share, and who they are as a person. And then from there, build this circle where both can benefit mutually from each other. Now, the other conception I have about networking was that networking is tooting my own horn, which means to say, showcasing my abilities, to say that, oh, you know what, guys, I have all these achievements, all these things that I've done, and therefore you should be in the network with me. But that's not true. I realized that networking is about building our personal branding. Now, when I stepped into the event, I got the first part of the equation right. I was dressed well, I think. But when people talk to me and when I talk to people, they would build a certain impression of me. Now, Vicky certainly built a good impression. You know why? Because she's here right now. She's in Advanced Ardent Speakers. She wouldn't have if she didn't trust me, right? So at least I spoke to her, but I didn't speak to anybody else. And unfortunately, that was a missed opportunity. So networking is about showcasing our own branding, not necessarily by saying it out or showing, but rather by using small talk, using words, and that person will slowly get to know who we are as a person. And the last thing that I learned about networking is this. Networking is not something where, at least for me, where I could just walk in and do nothing. No, just walk in, talk to people. I'm not a socialite. So I had to prepare myself mentally because I'm a strong introvert. So before I walk into a crowd, I have to prepare myself mentally that today I'm going to speak to X number of people. And then I execute it by speaking to that few people. And after that, after speaking to them, write their contacts down and write back to them to establish that connection. Now, some of you here may have no problem networking. When you walk into the event, you are the life of the party. But for those of you who are not, like me, I find it important to be deliberate about networking. It's not something where you can just walk in and then things will happen. We have to prepare. We have to say that we want to do it and why we want to do it. And then we will be able to execute it well. So to summarize my speech today, the event where I didn't actually do well, I actually flopped. No, I did really badly. But I learned 3 important points from the event. First is that networking is not about gaining something. It's about knowing people. Second, we have to be deliberate about networking. And third, networking shows our branding without us necessarily having to show off, which is something that I do not like to do. So 11 years into my work life, networking is no longer an option to me. It's a necessity if I want to move up the career ladder to be the CEO one day of my company. What about you? What are your career goals or your business goals? Whatever they are, I can guarantee that networking is an important element that we must have. I leave that for you to reflect. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
I can't say enough thank you to Albert, and let's send Albert love. And at the same time, I'd like to encourage all of you to spend 1 minute to actually share your thoughts after